Hello everyone and good evening. Can you all guys hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Fitri, your moderator for this webinar. The webinar will start shortly at 2:05 p.m. in order to allow others to join us. While waiting for others to join in, please remain seated and make yourself comfortable using the laptops, computers, or mobile phone for this webinar. We will begin shortly. Thank you everyone. For those who just joined us, the webinar will start shortly at 2:05 p.m. So please remain seated and make yourself comfortable. We will begin shortly. Thank you. For those who just joined us, we will begin shortly at 2:05 p.m. in order to allow others to join us. Please wait, and we very grateful for your patience. Thank you. I think we already have a full audience in the room. Before we start, I'd like to go over a few items so that you know how to participate in today's event. You will have the opportunity to ask questions to today's presenter by raising the hand icons, and address the question to the presenter by typing your question in the chat box. Also on the chat box, you will receive 2 surveys, and we will appreciate if you complete the surveys and provide your feedback. You will also receive a follow-up emails within 24 to 48 hours of webinar recording when you completed the survey. I will now introduce our today presenter, Prof. Dr. Ramlee Bin Kamarudin. He is a man of knowledge with many outstanding achievements. In past, he was appointed as a senior lecturer to the Center for Electronic Warfare, Information and Cyber from the United Kingdom. Currently, he serves as a professor and a leading researcher in a wireless and propagation focus group from our University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. He holds a Web of Science H index of 23 and Web of Science paper citation of more than 1,800. This is very amazing. For the Scopus, he earned H index and citation of 29 and over 3,000 Scopus paper citation. Last year, he received a recognition as one of the top research scientists from Academy of Science due to his achievement and contribution in his field. Without furthering and wasting much time, please welcome Dr. Muhammad Ramlee Bin Kamarudin.
Amin, thank you very much for the introduction. Okay, let me settle down with the video. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. So this session, the participant is about 100 something. So I believe that all of you after this, are you guys waiting for Viva? Can you hear my voice?
Coming soon, coming soon.
Coming soon. Okay. May I know coming soon to siapa tadi tu? May I know, please?
Anwar Azlan.
Anwar Azlan. Okay, when is it? When do you think?
Abi apa dan? Repeat sir?
You said coming soon, right? When?
Yeah.
Do you know when? Is it this month?
No, not this month. I think maybe end of this year, inshallah.
End of this year. Okay.
End of this year, inshallah.
All right. Okay. Before we start, I would like to get all the cooperation from all the participants, from all my friends. If you could please write it down, your institution name next to your name. I mean, if you look at the example, let's see what did I wrote for mine. Where is mine? Okay. Say for example, now I can rename. So what I want you to do, you write UTHM, that if you are from UTHM, and then you write your name after that, like this, okay? Can you see mine?
Okay.
All right, so easy for me to identify where you come from. Like, okay, UMS is Sabah, right, Hashim?
Yes, Sabah.
Sabah. Oh, sangat jauh ni Sabah. Elia, okay, the main organizer. I saw Elia Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, regarding this you accompany Umar when he departed back to his country. All right, that's what we call a very good friendship. Okay, so Nur Azlan from?
Originally I'm from Perak, but now I stay in Hidayat. I study at USIM.
Usim, okay. Maybe Azlan, if you could please rename, then you can write Usim in front. So it's easy for me to identify. Because so this session, Amin, where are you, Amin? I cannot see you. Amin, where are you?
I'm here, Doctor.
Okay, this session actually is not about the session that I'm giving a talk with so many slides, 40, 60, 70 slides. But this session is about interactive session whereby I expect the student or the participants or anywhere else or my friends that we can share and also we can ask. Okay, but I probably give maybe few slides regarding what we should do, and then after that is based on two-way communication. Is that okay? Because Amin will be the moderator, and then Amin will help me to tackle to help me to catch the question, and then we can try our best to answer the question. Or we have a colleague from here probably that you have experience, and then we can also share our experience together. Okay.
Surely I can. It's very my pleasure to help you, Professor.
That's great. That's great. Okay, everyone. For your information, you can address me by my name. You can call me Ramlee. That is fine. I love to see people call me by my name. All right. So I mean, as moderator, you can call me just Ramlee. Although I mean was my student when you did I think mathematics, right? I mean.
Yes, Prof. We did
Okay.
teach back then.
But it's fine to call me because I'm treating you as my colleague. I'm going to help you as a colleague. What we should do for our preparation for Viva. Okay. So to those who are driving, like Nurul Izzati and so on, so please make sure that you are not too focused on this talk because I'm worried about your. Please focus on your driving, or you have to stop somewhere. Okay. So safety is more important than this talk because this talk has been recorded. I think it's recorded, right? So you can share these recorded versions with your clique. Okay.
Excuse me, Prof. Prof. Sorry, I interrupt you.
Azlan, yes.
This recorded. Can you give it to everybody or only internal?
I think they will give it to everyone.
The recording will be given to every participants. However, we would like you to complete both survey and then we will send the link to your email.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Okay, so thank you everyone. To those who come from far away, Sabah, Universiti Utara Malaysia, Atira, Utara Malaysia in Kedah, right? So Kedah, we hope that situation in Kedah get better, insyaAllah. And then our colleague probably from Abdul Rahman, are you in Batu Pahat or Balik Raja or are you in?
No, I am back in my home. I am in
Where is it?
UAE.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Abdul Rahman, where? May I know where?
I am in UAE now, in my home.
Oh, UAE. Okay.
Back home, yes.
Back home. Okay, thank you for joining me. So I think over there is a morning, right? Probably
Yeah,
10 o'clock.
morning,
Like
10 o'clock now.
yeah, okay. Good
I am
morning.
in my
Sir.
duty also.
Oh, really? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it okay to attend this talk?
Yeah, okay.
All right, good. That's good. Okay,
Thank
so we have our friend from UAE. Do we have friend from other than that, other countries like Brunei, probably?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Good morning, Prof. I'm
Subhanallah.
from Nigeria.
Libya, Nigeria. Okay, that's good. That's good. So I'm happy to see you guys, even though I cannot see your face, but I can see your name. That's good. That's very lovely. But the most important thing is that we try to get utilize this session so that we can be prepared for our Viva. Okay, now let me share my screen. All right, I would like to share my screen. Maybe you can see I don't have many slides. I'm not like other speakers because they are so good. They are so very experienced. So they have many slides. I just have a very little experience, but because they asked me, they invited me to give a talk, so I try my best. Okay, all right. Can you see my slide? Only 6 slides, including intro. Okay, what I can do next is I play now. All right. Can you see my cursor moving? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes, because I cannot see. I think I can see the rest, right? Where is it? Okay, I can see some of you here. So let me settle this part first. Okay, before I start. Okay, what I can see a familiar name here. I think Salihan. Is it Salihan? I think you attended my session this morning, right?
Yes, Prof.
You are from UKM, Salihan.
UKM, yep.
What are you doing at the moment?
I'm currently in my first semester for my PhD.
PhD, first semester.
Yeah,
okay.
First semester, Prof.
Okay. Although the title is about Viva, but it is also can be applied for proposal. You see the titles there, tips for proposal defense, Pre-Viva and Viva. But I put my title as a Viva because the target is the last one. So although the target is for Viva, but the process is the same. Okay? Okay, everyone, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes, Prof.
Okay, from time to time, if you want to ask question or you want to say anything, yes, you are free to ask. Okay, all right. Okay, let me share with you my little experience as an examiner. This is very important because when I'm trying to share about Viva session, okay, I try to share in terms of my perspective or in terms of my experience. What do I expect it should be? Okay, so my little experience, I've been invited as a examiner, if I'm not mistaken, in 2018 from University of Birmingham as a PhD examiner. During this time, we had a break actually. The session starts around 9 in the morning, and then it not finished yet until 11. So we decided to take a break. So we went somewhere, and then those supervisors treating me with some very delicious lunch. So, and then after that we came back, and then we continue the session again, and then the session finished around 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So you see, how long it takes? It took about 4, about 6 hours. So how do you feel? How do you feel if the Viva session is more than you expect? For example, I believe that you may expect maybe 2-3 hours, right? Kan, betul. I mean, do you if for you, do you think how long do you expect for the session?
I think around 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Wow, that is I think that's the quickest one if we can have that. But normally for master or PhD, normally 1 hour could be the minimum. It depends. If you are very good enough in terms of writing your thesis, then should be no problem. But if there are a little bit problems, not problems, I mean a little bit clarification needed, so it may take at least 1 hour. All right. So my little experience, I was a PhD examiner at University of Birmingham, and then also PhD examiner at the Cranfield University, PhD thesis examiner for RMIT Melbourne 3 times, and then PhD thesis examiner for Macquarie University Australia 3 times. This is only 1 time, and then after that, a few more examiners for several universities in India and Pakistan. These are my little experience as an examiner at the international level. Okay. At the national level, I have been examiners for numerous universities, but I just focus here because I would like to give my expectation, what you should do, what you should prepare for your Viva in terms of my perspective. Okay. All right. So my expectation. So I expect that normally during the presentation, normally during the Viva or proposal defense or pre-Viva, whatever it is, you are given the opportunity to present. Okay, say I'm now your examiner, so I will give you opportunity. Like in Birmingham, I'm the chairman of the examiner, so I give the opportunity to the student. Okay, I give you 30 minutes, for example, or 20 minutes. Say, for example, I give you 30 minutes to present. So you have to make sure that you finish within 30 minutes or earlier than that. Please do not exceed. So one rule, do not exceed the time given. Can everyone do that? Boleh tak? Ali Riza, Firozi. Alright. If you've been given this opportunity, can you make it or not? Ali Riza, I can't hear you. Can you unmute? Can the organizer? Can you unmute Ali Riza? You have the tool, right, to unmute.
Oh, I think I have to ask Kak Nisa to unmute.
Okay. Please, Kak Nisa, make sure that you get ready if you want to unmute or mute. Ali Riza, can you unmute? We can't hear you. I still give you opportunity because not more than 30 minutes. So please speak. Do you have problem with your speaker? Okay, it's fine. No worries. You can answer later. How about our friend from UNICEF? Noraza? Azhar, are you there? Okay. If not, okay, maybe I ask Azlan. Azlan?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Dr. Ramlee.
If I give you opportunity to present, I'm your examiner and I'm also
Okay.
the chairman for the examiner. So I
Okay.
I tell you that you have to present within 30 minutes. Can you make it?
Can, but I'm not sure. It can maybe over the time. But I have to.
That's very wrong. Okay. If
Yep,
you make it
correct.
over the time, I'm not happy.
Correct.
Not many people happy, so you will be in trouble. Okay,
Correct.
everyone, you get the clear picture here. If the examiner give you 30 minutes, make sure within 30 minutes. If the examiner give you 20 minutes, make sure you present in 20 minutes. You know where to stop. You know what to present. Because Azlan, are you doing PhD, Azlan?
No. I'm doing my master.
Master, it's fine. Master mean like a guru, right? Master. Okay, so you are the guru of the project. You are the expert of the project. You should know what to present, what not to present. And are you? Do you guys get my point clearly?
Yep.
Okay. If you
Yes,
have
yes,
50 slides, make sure that you make it in 20 minutes. So you have to slash which is not important. Not important mean maybe not important during that time, but probably important during after the presentation, because after the presentation there is another session called probably page to page or session chapter to chapter session. So from that time you can use that presentation. Okay, everyone, keep the presentation short and precise. You should know what to present and what you should focus on. You should focus on your contribution. Do not talk about literature review. Okay? Because the examiner, they have your thesis in front of them. They have your thesis 1 month prior to your examination. They have your thesis before. They have read your thesis. They have examined your thesis. So do not talk more about literature review. No need. What you should present is about your contribution. This is for Viva, okay? But for proposal, for proposal defense, yes, you have to talk more about what is the gap, research gap. Then, in order to talk more about the research gap, because you're going to propose your work, then you need to tell them about the literature review that you have done. Okay? Maybe we can unmute. Maybe kita boleh unmute kot. Okay. Alright. Okay, Amin?
Noted, Prof. It seems that I cannot find the one who opened the mic earlier.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Alright. And then number 3, the rational explanation of your findings. So you should tell me what is the finding, what is the result, and how you achieve that result. If you achieve that, tell me how. You may answer that I do this experiment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's fine. So how you making sure that the experiment is correct? Tell me about that. Okay, and then you tell this. And then when you talk about your finding, I will ask you, is this finding correct? When you say yes, how you confirm that it is correct? So that's what we want to know. We don't want to know all this literature review and blah, blah, blah. We want to know the reason behind all your findings. Okay. And then number 4, less or no grammatical errors. Please make sure that. And then number 5, structured and well-organized thesis. This is very important. Sometimes there is no continuity between chapter and chapter, so we cannot understand. When we cannot understand, as an examiner cannot understand your contribution, your work, you may take longer time during the Viva session, because we would like to understand the project. Okay? So that's my expectation as examiner. Okay, So now we go for interactive session. Interactive session mean you may have a questions and then I'm going to answer that. Or not just everyone else here. You can ask me.
Those who have question, you may write it in the chat box. I will read it to Prof. Ramlee. Okay. Okay, Doctor, this is question from Yasmin Farzana.
Yes, please, Yasmin.
She asked how to drive the minds of examiner from asking difficult question during the Q&A session.
Sorry, how to what?
How to drive the mind of examiners from asking difficult question during Q&A. Meaning that she would like to know how to avoid from examiner asking difficult question.
Yasmin kan betul nama Yasmin?
Yasmin, can you
Yasmin.
unmute?
I think this interactive session, you guys can also ask me. No worries. Can help. You guys can also. It's fine. Okay, Yasmin. How
Yes,
to
Doctor.
drive the mind of examiner? Why we should do that? Why? I'm asking you.
No, actually, presentation during the 20 minutes, I think that should not be a problem because we have adequate rehearsals, and some of the institutions, they will have mock presentation. So I think the 20 minutes is not to me, it's not a killer time. But I think during the Q&A, I think because we don't know how the examiners will respond and how do they actually shoot out their questions. So actually that intimidate me in terms of I cannot control the volume of the questions from the examiner. So that's the reason why. Yeah.
You are right. We cannot control the examiner. You cannot control me. I can ask anything I would like to ask. However, prior to this session, everyone, prior to this session, you may have some estimation of these questions. You may ask yourself, if the examiner asks this, what should I prepare? If the examiner asks this, what should I prepare? You have to do that. Okay, you have to do that. And then if you think that during the session, they may ask what you have expected is good, is fine. You can answer that very well. However, in this time, if they ask different way, different thing, you have to be relaxed first, to be calm, relax, digest the question, and then you think whether the question is related or not. If it is not related, you can mention that what I can understand from your question is about blah 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 blah. However, in my work, in my research work, we focus more on blah 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 to get something. So I think that it maybe have some linkages between that, but at this moment it is not like that. So blah 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 and blah blah. You can say like that. If you think it is not related, if it is related, and then you can simply say, you can simply respond because you are the expert in that matters. Boleh, Yasmin? Is that okay?
Okay. But this is during the proposal defense because I will be experiencing today this month's end. So I was just because I have seen some proposal defense online. And I noticed the student has actually presented very well. Even I'm not from that subject matter and I'm able to understand very clearly. But however, when the examiner were to throw the question, not only the face of the presenter has actually changed, but sometimes the question can even bring the particular student into major correction. So that's why I feel that maybe we don't have the skill of learning the examiner's mind. So that's why I throw the question, how do we drive the mind of the examiners from asking?
Okay, so if you know who are your examiners, and then what you have to do, you have to do some study about your examiners. Go and check their expertise, go and check their strength and so on, and then you may be able to understand that why he may ask or she may ask some sort of question, because he or he would like to think that how she or he would like to apply your work into their research. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do, you study about them. when you study about them, then maybe what you can think, you can say like, okay, I understand what you try to ask. Okay, in this particular scope of the project is blah blah blah. However, in order to enhance my project to be useful for this particular project, so I think that what you have said is we can do like this, blah 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 blah. So that's it. What does it mean? It means that you have to study the background of your examiner. I think your supervisor may I think they can inform you who are the examiners, right?
Yeah, he actually already told me. He said you have to watch out because he's a bit strict and he will ask that kind of question of so what. So he gave me already some hints. So I know already I'm going to get a tough examiner during my PD. So that's the reason why I'm terrified right now.
It's fine. As long as you are telling him the truth, and then that is your expectation and then your scope of work, and then it is fine. No right or no wrong.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much for your answer.
Okay.
Prof, we have a question from Tara Sarah. She would like to know how to explain everything to examiners in a short time.
No need to explain everything. Why you should explain everything in a short time? As I said, you should explain or you should present your contribution. That is the more important for the thesis. We want to know what you have contributed. We don't want to know everything. Okay, later on, when we have another session, which is like page by page, chapter by chapter, then they can start ask you more and more. During that time, you can explain based on what they ask.
Excuse me, Dr. Ramlee, can I add something to this question?
It's fine, you can.
Okay, for example, one of the first questions, the very first questions we face in Viva is that our examiners, they ask, tell us very briefly, what is your research about? Now, to answer this question, I'd like to, have help from you. What are the points in the minds of the, examiners, 1, 2, or 3 points that they are expecting from the candidate to tell about when they say, just tell us briefly, what is your research about? So what are the 2 or 3 main points that usually examiners have in their mind that they want to have in the answer of the candidate?
Okay, first, you should tell, if I ask the questions, what I want to get from you first, what is the problem statement? What is the problem that you are really facing, you really would like to solve, or you have solved? So tell me about what is the current trend, current problems that relate to your finding, to your results. And then number 2, what method that you use? Okay, then you tell about the methods. And then number 3, what findings that you get. That's it. That's the point. Answer your research.
Yeah, that really suffices the answer. Thank you very much. 3-point research problems, and then the methods, and then findings, right? These are the 3 things. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Prof, we have a question from Mariam Shazna. She would like to know, what are several reasons for examiners to reject a study or research?
Oh, we don't do that. When you have an opportunity to have a Viva session or submit your thesis, so it means that you are qualified for the degree. What we are going to do is we want to verify whether the work is really done by you, or you understand or not what you have contributed. We don't simply do that because of that's not the philosophy of the Viva session. Viva session is for verification. We want to verify your work. So you have to be able to defend, to tell us the reason, philosophy, the background, the fundamental of your work. That's it. As I said in the beginning, you are the expert. I'm not the expert. You are the expert.
But Professor, Dr. Ramlee, the examiners are also expert because I see that their background is in my field. For example, you are from this USM, doesn't matter what you see, but I study or I studying their background. They are in this field, in the same like faculty with me. So of course they know what the topic that I want to present. So it's not if that, so that we cannot say they are not too expert, they are also expert. So how to make this kind of expert compared to us, because we are still not expert, we are still learning.
Okay, like this. When I said you are the expert, that is why you come up with the novelty, the originality. Everyone is expert. Like you said, that guy expert in the same field of yours. However, you must find novelty. If you don't find novelty, how can we award you degree, PhD or master in research? Because you cannot tell us that you have find the novelty. So when I said expert mean, you expert in electronic, he also expert in electronic, but you expert more in terms of what? Probably in terms of energy saving. He may be expert in terms of photovoltaic, for example. There are a lot of things. When I said expert mean, if he expert in what you expert in, so you cannot get your PhD because you cannot tell me about the originality. You got my point?
Yeah, I get your point.
Right? You are the one who dig the knowledge, investigate the knowledge, find all the resources, and then find all the research gap, and then you work for that. Finally, you get the result, and then you present your result. He not do that. The one that you mentioned, he expert, he didn't do that. He didn't do exactly the same as yours. If he did the same as yours before you, so it means that you are not the one who do something original. You are copying other people's work. See, can you see the consequences?
Yep. Many thanks, Dr.
Boleh, Azlan?
Yeah, insyaAllah boleh.
So don't worry.
Professor,
Yes.
Rifhana Mira asking a very interesting question. If we justify everything in our thesis, will the Viva be smoother?
Okay, siapa tadi tanya? Who?
Rifhana Mira.
Oh, Rihanna. Rihanna from?
Saya daripada Uni KL. Maksud saya, adakah bila kita tulis thesis yang very structured and kita justify everything yang kita buat tu dengan citation and kita letak juga fundamental fact, adakah nanti untuk Viva dia akan lebih smooth? Maksudnya panel lebih dah faham, kita dah cerita, kita dah bagi tahu kenapa kita buat macam ni, sebab apa, daripada mana. Adakah dia macam tu?
Okay, so Rifhana mentioned that asked about if she wrote a very good thesis, structured one, with all justification, how about the session? Will be smooth? Okay, my answer, yes, and also no. Okay, Rihanna? However, you have 50% of yes. Another 50% of no, this is not because of you are not doing good. They want to see whether are you the right person who wrote those kind of things? Are you the right person who did all those jobs? They don't know because that is from the thesis. They want to see. I want to see whether is it you, the one, or probably someone else. Sorry, it's a bit harsh. This is not harsh, but this is the practical.
Okay,
I'm telling you the practical. Because you want my expectation, my point of view as an examiner, right? So I cannot say that, although you are very good in your thesis, but I would like to see whether you are very good enough to defend yourself, to defend your work.
Ini maksud saya kalau orang tu buat sendirilah. Maksudnya orang tu memang buat sendiri, maksudnya dia dah well prepared. Maksudnya bila
of course, Diana, if you the one spend you the one who spent 3 years do your PhD, of course you know all inside and outside. As I said, you are the expert. Tapi if not you, someone else, he's not doing the right job, she's not doing the right job, ask someone to do. During the Viva session, examiner will know. We can simply know this guy do or not.
Okay, so, Prof, saya ada lagi satu soalan.
Yes.
Okay, macam mana pula dengan research yang tak berjaya? Maksudnya kita kan buat research ni, maksudnya kita belajar, kita tahu daripada yang tak berjaya tu kita boleh outcome untuk next research untuk lebih berjaya. So untuk yang tak berjaya ni, waktu Viva maksudnya dia nak convince kan, dia bagi tahu saya tak berjaya because of mungkin parameter ni dah dikatakan dengan fact ni yang ini tak berjaya, tapi we want to do a research untuk membuktikan ataupun kita tak boleh buat macam tu.
Yes, should be no problem. You have the justification to mention that why in the end the result is turned out to be negative. It's fine. That is also finding. That is also research. It means that other people, if they try to do this, maybe will get the same ending like you. However, I think last 1 or 2 years ago, one of the Nobel laureate, he got his Nobel laureate because of this. He's not doing something that in the beginning is the positive. He always got negative, but from this negative, finally he got his Nobel laureate. Should be fine. The most important thing is you must be able to give justification, clarification, the methodology that you use, why it is not successful, and then what will be the recommendation.
Okay, Prof. Faham. Thank you, Prof.
Prof, sorry to disturb. We have a follow-up question from Tara Saraf just now.
Yes, Tara.
He asked, how do I explain my minds in short time to the examiner?
Your mind? What is in your mind? I don't know.
Yeah, just sorry. We mind just our thesis, like you said, the contribution, the objective, the explain. Because sometimes I explain my technique and algorithm until my supervisors do not understand me. I'm afraid when the examiner ask to me and not understand me. We know we read it a lot. We wanted for this short all this time. We explain all this technique and the algorithm, how it's worked, how the results is done, or like this one. Because and sometimes
this is when
examiner.
Okay, sorry. This is when if you try to explain, but the examiner cannot understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What you can do if you still facing like kind of thing before the Viva or during whatever presentation, so try another way, which is try to come up with a mind mapping or whatever presentation that can make them understand. Instead of you explain, you give some figures. Make sure that figures can guide them to explain what you are doing. You can do that as well. Sometimes we cannot understand. Sometimes we cannot explain through like a verbal explanation. You can use written explanation or figures or infographic, for example. You can use infographic.
Yeah, but until for the 20 minutes when you do the presentation, it's so short to explain like the technique and the algorithm, how it's worked, and then the result. And all time when we have every month we do the presentation.
No, Tara, when we are talking about Viva session.
Yeah, it's Viva. Until Viva, this is the like we said 4 or 5 times a year we are working. We want to this for the 20 minutes or 30 minutes to explain all this our job and we write it in the thesis and the technique and the algorithm. But this time is so short to give all this information and to explain it like the technique and the algorithm. And all time, because sometimes until when I wanted to explain, the time is so short. I cannot to give all this.
Okay, like this. Tara and the rest, if you have you have the same problem, if you explain, people your supervisor cannot understand.
Yeah.
Okay, what you should do first, improve. Okay, improve the way you explain. If still, and then before you explain to your supervisor, explain to your friend. For example, Tara explain to Amin. If Amin can understand, so your supervisor can understand. Because Amin is not in the same field. If someone is not from our same field can understand, so it means that you are very good in explaining something. Okay, you try that.
Okay.
To those who have husband and wife, you present to your husband or you present to your wife. If they can understand, you will be good. I practiced this many times. Before I did my presentation, I present to my wife first. So I will get a very, very terrible comments. And then I improve. And then I present again. And then she said, very, very good. So it means that she's understood my presentation. And then when I present, I can present easily to anyone else because I know when my wife is understand, everyone else can understand me too.
Okay.
Boleh?
But sometimes the question is not clear for me. Sometimes ask the question, I don't know in the minute exactly.
You ask the examiner. If I
Yeah.
ask you the question, you,
Yeah, the
you can
examiner, I mean.
understand me. You
Yeah.
ask me, can you rephrase or reword, re-explain again? What do you mean? So I will ask again the same question but different phrase.
Okay. Okay, something is not clear. Can I ask him again? I said it's
Of
not clear for me.
course, Tara, of course. Viva session is not the examiner session. Viva session is your session. You are the point of the center of point. You are the man. You are our man. You know, we are looking at you. So you are the one. If you don't understand, you ask.
Okay.
Nothing wrong.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Professor, this is a great question from Nur Afika Rosli. She would like to know how to convince the examiner about research topic during the proposal defense. So that's examiner will accept.
As long as I said, as long as you have a very good problem statement, you have a very good justification on the problem statement, and then you can making sure that the methodology that being used is a novelty, original, no one else used that. So why they cannot accept your proposal? Siapa tanya tadi?
Nur Afika Rosli.
Afika. Why they cannot accept if you have a very good justification?
Hello, Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Yes.
So about my question, actually, saya baru apply untuk sama PhD, but the problem is ada pertembungan bidang untuk sambung. So my proposal is in I apply for PhD in computer science, but they say that I cannot pursue in the computer science sebab my degree and my master is not from ICT. Because my degree is in maritime technology and my master is in geospatial. So bila my PhD ni the proposal saya integrate antara marine sciences dengan computer science, and the potential SV pun saya apply potential SV pun saya pilih yang dari bidang computer science, but the committee tak nak terima. So they asked me to do presentation for rigorous assessment.
So how was the presentation?
Tak buat lagi, next week.
So this presentation will give you opportunity to get what you want?
I'm not sure sebab pertembungan bidang tu. So sama ada saya kena pilih nak buat dalam maritime technology or ICT. But SV yang saya pilih tu adalah ICT. Saya tak pilih yang under maritime.
Afika. So you should tell them that you are very interested in doing this, for example. And then you must be able to find out the gap in a very short time. You must be able to convince them by telling them the research gap. Although ICT or computer science, there are a lot of things that you can explore nowadays with revolutional fourth revolutional and so on. There are a lot of things that you can do with computer science and also ICT. Should be no problem. So the most important thing is you need to tell them this is the field that you really would like to explore, and at this moment I may not be able to give you what I want to explore. That is why I'm looking for the supervisor that can assist me. Right. Okay.
Alright, okay.
Okay, then you can use use lens.org to prepare for this, because LAN can also give some insight view regarding the field. What is the research field that you can explore? You can go to computer science, kemudian then you can go deeper in computer science. What are the other fields? And then from that you may tell them, I would like to focus in this matter.
Alright, okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ramlee.
Yes, thanks.
I'm Norshikin from UTHM.
Okay, Ashikin.
Okay, my question. I think you know me. I'm ex of secretary of Perkasa before.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm doing my study leave now. Okay, due to the university requirement, not I apply. Okay. The problem
Okay.
is I want to ask you from your experience as an examiner. Is there any chances that the examiner will ask your background? Like for example, I'm diploma in public admin and law. Okay, my first degree is in mass communication, PR. Okay, and then my master's is in education, guidance and counseling, and then I'm doing now social sciences on leadership and statehood. Is there any chances the examiner ask me about why you are doing the different field? Is there any chances? I just want to know that.
Okay, Rashid, thank you for your question. If I'm the examiner, I don't bother because of that is very good because you have a multidisciplinary field. But the most important thing is what is your current degree now? You are doing a PhD, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So your current degree, if you are not be able to answer very well respective to your current degree, there will be a problem. So what you have to do, you have to get more knowledge in your field, right? This is your current field. Although you have multidisciplinary before, that is fine. That make you more wise because you know a lot of things. But now, when we are examiner, we will ask you something that related to your work.
Of course, maybe the examiner will, why you're doing a PhD in leadership? You're not a background of this, maybe.
Why should we ask that?
I don't know. I'm afraid that they will ask.
If they ask, we can ask them. That you can ask them. It depends. You can also ask, is that a problem if I do this? That is not that is not a problem because you are the one.
Maybe they will say like this because of if you want to hire any lecturers also they will ask you, oh, what is your first degree? So when you have a PhD in some sort of like very different kinds of field, which is from education, and then you jump to social sciences and then I was thinking I'm from English language faculty before. Just imagine.
It is okay. It is fine. The most important thing is you to prove them wrong. You to prove that you are capable. That's it. So what we are talking about during this Viva session is about the work that being proposed, the work that being documented, and then we ask you to verify whether you understand or not this topic.
Doesn't matter your background, all right?
Of course, doesn't matter at all. Why for example, I'm from electrical, and then if I want to do PhD in business, I can go to business. It's fine as long as I can prove to them that I'm knowledgeable in business. That's it. Why we should ask something else which is not related to your thesis during the Viva session? That is not right as an examiner. Okay, boleh tak? That is not the role of examiner. We don't want to. We are not going to jeopardize the student. We are going to verify the works.
Most important, examiner won't find out something like question like your background. Won't through your experience.
If he asks, you don't have to tell all those things. What you have to tell, as I said, the background of my research or your background or your research. You mentioned to the examiner, my background research is the problem that I'm going to solve, the method, and then that's it. That's related to your thesis. Don't tell anything else outside of your thesis. Out of the scope.
Thank you.
Waste your time. Waste the examiner time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Professor, this is question from Sahira from University Putra Malaysia, I think.
Yes,
she asks, if we cannot answer the question from examiner during the Viva, what is the best way to answer the examiner?
Okay, Sahira, what type of questions that you can answer? What type of question? If the examiner asks you the basic fundamental, but you cannot answer, you will be in trouble. So I'm asking you, what type of questions? If the examiner asks about the background which is not related, then you are not the problems. Examiner is the problem, like Norashikin just now mentioned. Examiner asks different question which is not related, which is he or she is the problem. we examiners should ask benda yang related. But if I ask you fundamental question related to your work, but you cannot answer, it means that you are not capable enough. So that's very dangerous. Make sure you must be ready before you go to this Viva session. But if the examiner asks something very difficult, which is you think that you are not focusing on that during your study, maybe that is not one of your objectives, you can mention that in this work, the objective is the problem that I'm going to solve is this, this, and this. However, the question that you asked me, it is about blah, 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 blah. So what I can do is I may think about this in the recommendation to whether it is can be enhanced or not to suit that application. This is an example only. Okay, but you have to understand whether the question is about your fundamental, about your work, or different questions. If you cannot answer about your fundamental, it means that you are not ready yet.
Sahira, does the professor explanation satisfy you? Can you unmute your speaker? Sahira? Okay, Professor, can we move on to the next question?
Please, please.
Okay, this is from Siti Mariam Atikah binti Abdul Aziz. She would like to know, is proposal defense is the place to change your topic just because your idea are not well presented?
Siapa tanya tadi? Mariam eh?
Mariam Atikah, if the idea is not well presented, can you change your topic?
Change? When to change the topic? After?
After, I think after the proposal defense. Is it, Siti Mariam?
Huh? Betul, Mariam. After the proposal defense, you want to change? Mariam? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Mariam, can you unmute your speaker?
Brunei like that. Brunei got one look like that.
Brunei?
Did you hear me?
Okay, if I can answer, first of all, when you've been given opportunity to present during your proposal defense, you have to make sure that you want to do that topic. Because that you spend how many months? 3 months, 4 months, right? You spend 3 months, 4 months, and then after the presentation, you have to change everything. What for? And then you have to do it again. No need. For me, make sure that the examiner accept the idea that you're going to propose. That is why you have to thoroughly, consistently, and with a very good commitment in doing the research gap. And then you propose, and then give a very good justification so that they won't avoid this thing. This is the first thing in your mind. You don't want to change. You want to do this because I spent 3 months. I want to do this. That's why you have to tell them that this is what I want to do, and this is a novelty. I can confirm that this is novelty. How to confirm? That's why first 3 months you need to discuss properly with your supervisor. Make sure that he or she support your idea. If not, if you don't go and see your supervisor during this time, this crucial time, so who can support you? Is that okay, Mariam? So I don't want that we think that we just want to change after the proposal. You waste your time. Don't waste your time. You only left, if you are doing master, you have 3 semesters. After that, you only left one year. So what you want to do within this 1 year? We don't want to extend. We want to move forward. So make sure if you come up with the proposal, make sure the proposal will be accepted. Do hard work before that.
Is it okay, Mariam?
But it's fine, Mariam. If you don't accept my opinion, it's fine. I just give you to you and to everyone that please, if you want to propose, make sure the proposal is accepted. If not accepted totally, but 80% will be accepted because of you have to do some revision. That's it. Rather than you change everything, or change topic, or change title, then you have to do it again. You spend more months to do all those things. Waste your time. Maybe not just time, also motivation. Okay, right.
Okay, Mariam. I will go to from Muhammad Hasim Ujang from University Malaysia Sabah. He would like to ask, how many sessions will the whole candidature defense need to take before the examiner can decide whether to approve or instruct a major correction?
Sorry, how many what? Sorry,
I think what he mean is that how many defense does someone needs to do before the examiner can decide whether to approve
how many
his
defense?
thesis, or
Okay,
instruct a
basically
major
like this. Basically like this, my friend, everyone outside there, you know, before you enter the session, actually the examiner, both examiner, internal and external examiner, and also the chairman of the session, they know your results. They have your preliminary result in front of them because they have read, they have examined your thesis. So they already give you the result. For example, pass with correction, pass with minor correction, pass with major correction, or fail, or reviva. They have the preliminary results. However, this result can be changed during Viva session. How to change? You very confident to explain to them, this is my methodology that I propose. I designed this with this, and finally, the originality is blah, 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 blah. I managed to get this result. No one else in the world do this, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, they may ask you to go outside, they discuss what will be the final result. By looking at your explanation, by looking at how you present, by looking at how you respond to them, they think that we may misunderstood some part of the thesis during the session when we examine the thesis only. But now I would like to change my decision. Now it is not reviva, it is maybe pass with corrections. Okay? That's it. That's why Viva is very important. That's why very important to show that you understand that topic. You are the expert.
Prof, he also asks, what is the best answer to give if examiner asks what is the novelty of this research?
I think you have the answer, right? Because in the thesis, you write your contribution. That is the novelty, the originality, the contribution to knowledge. You have the answer.
This is also from Ahmadun from our faculty. He asked what is the definition of contribution. Sometimes what he said, novelty is not practical in the real world due to the limitation of current technology. Even failure can also be a sort of contribution, right, Professor?
Okay, of course, we are human. We are not robot. We cannot do anything. We can do with some limitation and boundaries. So as long as you state the boundaries, as long as you state the limitation, and then you manage to do whatever it is within that scope, within that region, that is the contribution. And what to define that, it depends from field to field, work to work, it varies. So your supervisor will be able to tell you that this is the contribution. And you, later on, before the Viva, you will be able to tell to yourself that this is my contribution. If before the Viva, you still cannot tell yourself what is your contribution, then you please ask to postpone the Viva session until you're ready.
Okay, Doctor, can I poke my nose again in here with your permission?
Yes, please.
Okay, just to add to this question, for example, if there is something that I have done in a specific context of my country, for example, I'm from Pakistan. So, for example, if I'm investigating legal language used in courts in the specific context of Pakistani courts, would that be considered a novelty? Because it's not been done in the context of my country before. So would it be considered a novelty in my work? The specific context I'm talking about.
Okay, so sometimes some PhD is about policy makers. We write policies, we write things, and we try to think whether sometimes maybe different from country to countries and so on. Okay, But the most important thing that what you have to do is you have to make sure that whatever you want to do in the methodology section, for example, you have to make sure that this is not been done, or some innovation, some improvement from the prior one. Although you mentioned that maybe Pakistan do this, maybe Malaysia do this, but what will be the contributions if both countries would like to use the same thing? For example, maybe you can propose something like that, so that it will be beneficial not to just Pakistan, also to any other countries. That's one thing. Another thing is that sometimes that may be referred to confidential and so on. So that is very important. You and your supervisor need to clarify things, everything, before you go for your Viva. I may not be able to answer very well to your questions because of I may not understand or I may not overcome this kind of thesis or project before, because most of my project is about technical things. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask. But if you really want to ask regarding this policy whatsoever, maybe you can ask someone from maybe from education, the lecturers from education that may have experiencing this kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, doctor, I got the answer. Thank you very much. Basically, what I have got from your answer is that my contribution in the end, for example, if I'm presenting a model for the problem, I mean, in specific context, so that makes it novel. So thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, excuse me. Just I want to ask question, Doctor. We in a literature we are writing more the technique and algorithm, but most of the technique algorithm I am not use it. But this they mentioned it before for this like the job and others people work about it use this technique algorithm, like I'm working for optimization, but I write it in a paper working for the wavelet, but I don't have idea about wavelet or super vector machine, or about the Fourier, or about another like the integral differential technique. But supposed to when I write it in the literature the old technique algorithm, I have an idea about it, or I know about it.
Okay, this is you try to clarify the originality of your work. Am I correct? If I can understand you correctly.
My job, like I'm working for the area of the security for the iris cognition, uses the technique the black hole optimization. Black hole optimization. I'm working for the feature extraction and feature the selection, the classification for the accuracy and the time. I'm working about it, how the optimization worked, how the black hole I use this technique algorithm, and how we use them for the iris recognition and for the feature extraction and the feature selection. But in literature, I talked about, I write it before for the iris recognition. People use it like the wavelet or Fourier transformation, or super vector machine is used, or have another people like many technique is used. But me, I'm not working for this technique and I don't have idea, but I mentioned it in the people use it. If the examiner ask about me about this technique or algorithm, or
but if the technique is not related to your work, it means that it is not proposed in your methodology, they may not ask you.
Okay, and
they may ask you about, they will ask you whatever method that you use in your methodology, because they want to verify that method. If you don't using any other method, that's your reasons. You may, because you may think that some other method may be useful for your application. Okay.
Yeah, and when I write it in the methodology, what I write it in the flow chart, in the methodology, just this one I asked about it. But for the literature, for the chapter 2, we talk about the study before the people is they use it for the technique.
You have to, for example, your literature review must be from the broad scope into narrow scope. That's why you have to get to know many other things first.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good.
Doktor, hello.
Yes.
Okay, Doktor, Assalamualaikum. Saya Farah from UiTM. Saya
Okay,
FKE
Farah.
juga. Okay, I would like, is novelty is really important during the RP, sebab the RP saya RP is during semester 1 and I already have a problem statement and preliminary design, but I saya masih lagi macam blur on the novelty. So macam di RP akan ada semester 1, so belum lagi dapatlah macam novelty tu. So macam mana nak cari novelty tu Sebab untuk di RP lah, untuk Viva confirm kita dah kena dapat di RP tu kan. Dapat novelty tu, tapi untuk di RP ni macam saya ada problem statement tapi still lagi tak nampak mana novelty saya macam tu kat situ.
Okay, what you can do, Farah, although you are, I believe that everyone here, when we do PhD or master, we do something, we are in the tunnel. Kita belum, we cannot see the light first, alright. However, throughout the way that you try to find the light means you can see the exit of the tunnel. So there is many kind of novelty. Novelty is something that it is not something that very much, very, very new. It is not like that. As long as you manage to find a research gap, okay? When you do the literature review, you find a research gap, and then you mention in the research gap that, this method, maybe if I enhance this method for this kind of application, I may get something new. That something new is the novelty. That something new is the contribution to knowledge. So something, it is like when you do something, when you want to know what is your contribution. Maybe I rephrase. I don't want to say about novelty. I say about what is your contribution. So as long as you manage to contribute whatever it is in terms of knowledge, in terms of application, in terms of methodology, new method, new algorithm, new things that maybe make it the system more efficient, can make it the system more useful, that is the contribution. Okay, so don't worry about if you cannot get the contribution now. It's fine because you are in the early stage. Literature review is not just for 4 months, 6 months throughout your study. My friend, literature review is throughout your study. You need to dig more knowledge, because every year there are new papers being published. So you need to get more. You need to keep it right on track. That what you are going to do is have some contribution or have a major contribution. Something like that. Boleh, Farah?
Okay, boleh. Thank you.
So make sure you discuss with your team, you discuss with your supervisor, or you tell your supervisor if by having this kind of problems, research problem, and I look for this gap, can be considered as my contribution? Yes, if he say yes, ask him whether is it major contribution or minor contribution. If it is minor contribution, it's fine, because from minor contribution you can get major. Alright?
Okay. Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Yes.
Saya Rifan tadi, saya nak tanya, macam berbalik soalan Tara Saraf tadi, dia ada kata yang dalam literature review, kita akan, maksudnya kita akan tahu untuk buat sesuatu tu, kita ada banyak method. Tapi kita pilih satu antara banyak-banyak tu. So maksudnya waktu kita present, kita still kena bagi tahu ke, maksudnya macam just a review. We have many method, but I choose this method because of this, and kita bagi tahu advantages and disadvantages. Adakah macam tu?
Yes, that's what we call critical review. And then they can understand why you choose that method, because there are so many other methods that they can apply to.
Adakah dia akan tanya, selain itu dia akan tanya contoh
They may ask you because of from the literature review, they may ask you why you do not choose this method, but you have a concrete reason why.
Okay, Prof. So maksudnya waktu Viva kita just bagi tahu jugalah.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, untuk waktu present lah ke waktu yang chapter by chapter?
It depends when the question been arise.
Okay.
They can ask you anytime during the Viva.
Okay, thank you. Satu lagi, kalau macam dalam tesis, ada limit tak maksimum atau minimum untuk kita compare dengan previous research, ataupun tak ada? Satu pun dah cukup ataupun macam mana?
You mean to make a comparison?
Yes.
This vary between research to research. It depends. Some research is very difficult research, so not many people doing that. So maybe not many references. But if you are doing something which is common, so you may end up to have many comparisons.
Dia tak ada maksimum atau minimum lah?
No.
Depends.
As long as you have a very good justification, it should be fine.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, Professor. So we have this one from University Utara Malaysia, which is in my state. Hasrul Hasnum. He asked that can the examiner evaluate us as a failure if the research is based on his understanding but not based on our finding? Means that I think what he meant is if the examiner thinking different than what we present, can the examiner evaluate us as a failure?
Oh, Hasnul, Hasnul?
Yeah, Hasrul.
Hasnul, that is why we have Viva session. You can defend. You can tell the examiner you are wrong. Your understanding is not the same as what I'm doing. Tell him or her in the Viva session. You have the opportunity to tell him. Don't be afraid. You are the expert, man.
But Prof, don't you think it is rude?
Thank you, Prof. No, you have to. Of course, you need to have a skill. You cannot say like, oh, what is this? You are ridiculous, stupid examiner. You cannot say like that. Okay, you can say politely. Okay, from my understanding, from my research, from my investigation, this should be blah, 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 blah. And what you have said is something like blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So what I can see here, there is a mismatch between what your comment with what I'm doing. Do it like that in a proper way. Not critics your examiners openly like that. No, you need to have a skill. It is not rude as long as you know how to handle.
Prof, can you share to us the art of the conversation skill when we facing the panels?
You have to smile. Smile, keep calm. And then when they ask questions, you smile first, keep calm. While you smile, you think what to answer, how to answer that particular question. And then you try to answer with limit to your knowledge. Don't try over beyond that. They may catch you. You are trying to, what in Malay word they call goreng. They try, this student try to fry the knowledge. We don't want that. Okay. So keep calm, then the idea will come. Should be no problem. The most important thing, what you have to do, you have a list of possible questions next to you. Bring it that with you. You put next to your, next to whatever it is, next to your table. If there is a face-to-face, bring everything. Bring your question, bring the answers. If they ask, you read the answers. Or you can see the answers and then you tell them. Why not? This is open book, open book, open book things, open thesis. You can also write something in your thesis. Okay, Ilya. After all this depends on you. You are the one who going to answer all the questions. You know whether it is right question or not. You can tell that because you are the one who gone through this project. You know what is the finding. You know what is the problems throughout this phase. And then when they ask you, you should know whether that is the correct question or not. If you think that you reach that level, you are PhD capable to get PhD. Because after this, the most important thing is after PhD, what you are going to do next. Okay, so that's why you must be able to move forward from your work. Okay, boleh Ilya?
Yes, because we want to the argument. We don't want to make the panelists notice our argument. We cannot use the word like but. I don't agree with you opinion. So how we make it
why we cannot say we don't agree?
So I think maybe our presentation will be more than 3 hours if we make some agreement.
It's fine as long as you be able to defend and finally they think that you are a very good student. I have 6 hours presentation Viva session, as I said to you when I was at Birmingham. Not my presentation, my Viva, but I was the examiner. We had 6 hours, but we think the student was good. When I asked this, he said, "Oh no, I don't agree with you because that is the way it is. We are discussing about knowledge. We are not arguing something like who win, Manchester United or Manchester City. No, we are not arguing about that. We are arguing about knowledge. Knowledge, when we argue, means that we try to give our best that this is like this. And then if the examiner think that, oh, you may be wrong, and then you have to think again. Oh, okay, I think maybe I wrong in that particular, but I think in one section, I maybe right. Something like that. Yes, argument is fine.
Professor, Doctor, can you tell us what for qualitative methodology, research methodology qualitative, what are the differences between methodologies, tools, and instruments? Because when I go through those literatures and samples of proposals, some categorize interviews as instruments, some categorize it as a methodology, some other people categorize it as tools. So can you explain to us the differences between these three things: tools, methodologies, and instruments? Thank you.
Okay, like this, Hasim, Hasim from UMS. Okay, Hasim. Methodology, yes, sometimes if we are heavily involved with the experimental, so we may do many experiments. Maybe a lot of our methodology is based on experiments, and then some of the work maybe do some survey. Survey mean you provide you prepare the questionnaire, and then you send the survey, and then you do the analysis from that survey. And then some also may do like just do the not the outside field, but just the simulation. So this one also depends on the work, on your research work, in order to solve the problem statement. You have the problem statement, you have the method that you want to use, and then finally you get the findings. So we don't mind at all, whatever it is. The most important thing, you must be able to mention about, if you use this kind of method, do you think that this is the correct way of doing that? You must be able to answer that. Okay, if I ask you, Hasim, you use this method, why? Do you think this is correct? And then you mention, I use this because of the efficiency of the method. That's one thing. Okay, I can understand about efficiency. But how to make sure that this is correct? Oh, this is because of this method also applied by few other researchers before, and then they successfully get this blah 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 blah. However, I also applied that not with this particular application, not with this particular sample, maybe with other sample which is not being discussed before. So that's the thing. How are you going to tell them how you apply those kind of methodology so that we can understand that your methodology is correct? So I don't mind if your methodology or tools or whatever it is, I don't mind, as long as you be able to answer what I have said just now. Is that okay, Hasim?
So if I understand correctly, you mean methodology is the system how we work, the system or
the methodology is
the
the
algorithm, not
the methodology is the process, Hasim, to get the results, to get the finding.
I mean, from A to the process of from A to Z lah kan, not
Yes.
the specific interview that we
the
do.
process.
No. I mean,
Whatever
I
process
cannot
is
say that my methodology is I will interview the former Secretary General of Wisma Putra. That is not a methodology, right? That is just a sub, like a instrument, something like
Yes.
that. Not a methodology.
Methodology is a process, Hasim. Process.
Okay.
Process.
So I can say one of my methodology is to interview prominent leaders and implementers and agents of foreign policy or something like that.
Yes.
So it's more general, not that like I interview the former prime minister or former KSN, something like it's not, that is not considered.
That one of the method. One of the method, you interview this, you interview that. That's one of the method.
I mean, I should not make it fragmented, right? I should group it and make it something like coherent and organized so that the examiner can understand the stages of how I collect the data. When do I do what interview?
Yes,
something like that, right? Okay. So that part I think I can understand you on that lah. Thank you, Professor. You enlightened me today.
Professor, I received several questions about major correction and minor correction.
Okay.
Can you enlighten us about that? Because there are a lot of questions regarding minor and major correction.
Okay, if minor or major correction, it depends. It varies from university to universities. Maybe Pakistan different, USM different, GMF different, and so on. However, what can I understand about major or minor? Minor means you may not we may ask you to do a little bit some correction, or maybe we ask you to give some further clarification on this paragraph, this topic, something like that. However, for major, maybe we ask you to do some recalculation, remeasurement, and then maybe restructuring of the thesis. So minor may take few months, maybe 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, but major may take maybe more, like 6 months, 9 months. Okay. But after all, when you submitted back your revision, there will be not, we don't have any Viva session after that, but the panel will just will verify whether you have responded all the correction or not. And then after that, it's fine. You will get your degree.
I hope that explanation answer everyone's questions. Moving on to Nurul Fatima. Professor, I'm from University Malaya. I would like to ask, is it possible if the Viva session is done face-to-face? Then I bring my answer paper and answer the panel question while referring to my answer paper. Do Professor have any tips and tricks during the Q&A sessions so that I will be able to answer the question smoothly?
Fatima.
Yes.
Okay, Fatima.
Fatima. Malaya.
It is fine. You want to bring anything to put on the table is fine, as long as you don't cover your face with all the papers. It's fine, right?
Is it possible to do a face-to-face session during this pandemic?
It depends on the university.
To request?
They said that they can. Now it's okay. Everything is fine. Then they say we have another option which is face-to-face. It's up to you. If there's still other option like online, it's up to you to choose. If they say this is compulsory, then you have to go. All right. So this is the policy is can be changed from time to time. So it's depend on the. However, in order to answer that, if you want to read the question, the answers, what you have written, and then you read that to your examiner. So it means that you get the question from the examiners. So you are so lucky to get the questions beforehand. Okay, but why I'm trying to say that is maybe as the guideline only, the guideline that if that kind of thing being asked, you look at the answer and then, but please don't read. You try to explain, because you are PhD student. You are going to get a PhD degree. You must be able to show them you have a confidence in explaining your work. Okay, boleh Fatima?
Okay, Prof.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Umar.
Good morning from Nigeria. Good afternoon from Malaysia. Umar, my question, Prof. I want to ask question on novelty and contribution. As a PhD student, does a PhD student actually have a novelty or contribution? What is the difference? Secondly, I heard of a question by one lady on examiner asking about her background, which of course you responded. Can I, if the question is thrown to me, can I answer it in this form about the background? Of course, I think to my understanding, my work can justify why I choose to do PhD in this based on my contribution to knowledge in this area. Thank you.
Yes, number 2 is correct. You can answer like that. That's why I said you don't have to answer whatever you did in your first degree. No, we as an examiner, we don't ask like that. We just ask about your research topic, about what you have written in your thesis. That more important because we are going to examine your thesis, not about your background. So when we examine your thesis means that how you going to answer that. That shows us whether you're capable or not, whether you are knowledgeable or not in that particular field. Okay, Umar, number 2. Okay, number 1, as I said,
Okay.
novelty or contribution, that is a very subjective term. What you can say, you can mention everything is contributions. I have contributed number 1, blah, blah, blah. Number 2, blah, blah, blah. Number 3, blah, blah, blah. So how these contributions we can feel as a significant contribution. Number 1 contribution managed to get this. Number 2 contribution solve this problem. Number 3 contribution, blah, 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 blah. That's it. But throughout the line, throughout the thesis, you support your contribution with methodology, with correct methodology, with innovative methodology, with very good finding, with results. Similarly for contribution 2 and 3. So that's how the way, this is what we call a systematic way, scientific way of explaining the contributions. So it's fine. Okay, Umar, am I answering you?
Yes, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Professor, this is a great question we got from YouTube. From
okay.
Fikri Roslan. He asked if a PhD student already had Viva and there is more correction, is there need for another Viva session or he just fails the Viva?
Sorry, say it again. Pass the Viva.
He asked that if a PhD student already had a Viva and need corrections, will there be another Viva session or he just failed?
If you pass the Viva, you don't need to sit for another Viva. But if you not pass the Viva, means that they ask you, they give you status reviva, not major, not minor, reviva. But they give you the correction. You have to do this correction, and then you have to attend the Viva again. This is not considered minor, not also neither minor, no major.
Thank you, Prof. Before we continue the session, I would like to remind everyone on the chat box, you will receive 2 surveys and we will appreciate if you complete the surveys and provide your feedback. Later, you will receive follow-up emails within 24 to 48 hours of our recording, only for those who completed the survey. Can you guys please fill in the survey?
Okay, one more thing, Amin and the organizer, I can see many questions here in the chat box. So I would like the organizer, you copy all these questions, you email to me, and I will answer the question line by line. And then later on you can share to the participants. Is that okay?
That's very great, Doctor. So everyone, can you please fill in your question into the chat box? I will copy the question.
Maybe the organizer, when you copy the question, you put in the maybe in the table whatsoever, then I can simply write on the right side is the answer.
Okay. Can I ask the question, Dr. Ramlee, about we have a defense and pre-Viva or Viva. I done the defense. Can I do Viva? I don't do the pre-Viva.
You can ask for, but I think Pre-Viva will give you advantage because of when you have a Pre-Viva, that is the defense. You have to defend your thesis before the real Viva, and then you will get the comment from one of the internal examiners. Okay. Okay, this is applied at UTHM, but other university they don't have Pre-Viva, I think so, right? UPM, UTM, they don't have Pre-Viva, they just have a Viva. So you are lucky enough to get the Pre-Viva, so you get the feedback earlier, and then you do the correction, and then when we submit your thesis, that will be better compared to the previous one. So this will help you a lot during the Viva, the real Viva session.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. So please fill in the survey, and I will later on, the organizer will send you guys the recording and also the list of question and answer from Professor. Okay? Because we had a
Brother
lot of
Amin.
questions and we only left with 30 minutes.
Okay, Brother Amin,
Assalamualaikum.
sorry for interruption, Brother Amin. I went to the survey page, but it says that I need organizational permission. I can only view this page if the organization give me the permission for that. So what is that? I do not understand.
So
The survey page.
I will ask the organizer maybe only for if you I will ask the organizer. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. May I, Prof.Dr. Muhammad Ramlee, Shamila.
Yes, please, Shamila.
Yeah, okay. I have one question. This is about the
I can't hear you. About?
Yeah, because I think somebody else also.
So we can hear you, Shamila.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ramlee.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Sorry, Shamila is asking me at the moment. Yes, Shamila. After that, you can ask me.
Okay, thank you. This is about the turn-in.
Okay, turn in. Okay, yes.
Yeah. When we have submitted into our articles, we have, let's say, the minimum for us to Viva, we have to 2 articles. So when we do the turn-in, so it's already put the effect into the similarity index.
Okay.
So how we want to minimize the problems of getting the similarity index? Actually, it is from our articles.
Okay. What is the acceptable similarity index? Where are you from? Are you from which institution? UiTM. Okay. What is the acceptable?
30%.
30%. All right. So maybe when you submitted in turning in, and then it not turned out to be 40, something like that, right? 40.
Not really 40, but I'm not happy with 20+% of things, because when we go through one by one, then it is coming from the articles itself, because actually it's my work and then my thesis.
Shamila, I think, in my opinion, all right, as long as below 30, and then if you found out that 20 something, but many of the colored from your articles,
yep,
then it should be. It should be. It's fine.
So it's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You don't have to waste your time to get it 15. What for?
All right.
But you have to worry if the color is not from your articles.
No. Actually, other than that,
yes, what I meant, if you get 20 something, but many colors from your article, from other people's article, maybe that one you should worry. But if you're from your article, it's fine because you are the authors. Why not? Sometimes I just rewrite again what have been written in the paper, right?
Yep.
Yes, but of course you do some modification because of in thesis you may have combined some other things as well.
Yep. Okay. Thank you so much.
As long as acceptable value is fine.
All right.
If not, say for example 35.
Yeah.
If 35, you can justify with your graduate studies that these are from my papers.
Okay.
I'm the one who authored. I'm not plagiarism.
No. Thank you so much. That's what cooled me down. Thank you.
Yeah. As long as below 30, don't waste your time. You have other things to do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, good. Yes.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Professor. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, it's me, right? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, Professor, thank you for your wonderful lecture. Actually, I have.
This is not a lecture. This is not a lecture.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Right.
Actually, I will do my Viva in a short time, and I have a small question. Actually, I'm not sure what should I prepare now, because except for the printed thesis. So what should I prepare? Do I need to prepare all the data I collect, like the test paper or my interview script. So do I need to prepare all the data material?
What kind of Viva? Is it PhD Viva?
Yeah, PhD Viva.
So when is it?
Huh?
When is it?
Maybe after a week.
Oh, next week, you mean, your Viva?
Yeah.
So
I'm a bit nervous and anxious now. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, as I said many times, you are the expert. You shouldn't be nervous, but nervous is normal, right? Nervous is normal.
Thank you for your kind of word.
I think you have your thesis with you, right? You have your own thesis.
Yeah.
Okay, please read your thesis again. Everyone, read your thesis again.
Yeah.
So that you do not miss any point. Okay, read your thesis again. If you think that there are some correction in the thesis, you can print it out or write it down in one piece or two pieces of paper, and then you can pass to the examiner, mention that there are some correction. I give this to you because I noticed the correction after the submission. That is fine. I did that when for my PhD. I did that. I gave that to my examiners during the Viva session. I think 2 pages, if I'm not mistaken, because we checked again and then finally we found out new corrections ourselves. Okay. But the most important thing is you read your read your thesis. That's it. You don't have to do other thing. Read your thesis. You know what is your problem statement. You know what is the contribution, and then you know what is your finding. Then, okay, fine. But then what else you have to know is, of course, while preparing your thesis, I believe everyone here, you must have a prior background or must have a prior knowledge towards that field, towards that discipline, for example. Okay. Yeah. So I think, in other words, you have the fundamental knowledge for that particular work. So it should be no problem. It's fine.
Okay, so do I need to prepare or print all the data material?
So that one for whom?
Will the examiner ask me to show all the material to them?
They have your thesis, right?
Yeah.
Why they ask you more? Because they have your thesis. Everything that you want to print out is already in the thesis, right?
That's a proof or evidence. Yes. Will they ask me to share that?
Proof? No need. But that one is for you, not for him, for them. Because sometimes you try to say, for example, like you try to stress out that this is my contribution, whereby inspired by this paper. So maybe they cannot get the paper, but you have that paper in your hand, so you can tell them this is the paper that you refer to, if you want to. Not for them, that's for you.
Okay, so that's not necessary, maybe.
Yes, because they have the thesis. They have your thesis.
So all the questions should be around my thesis.
It should be like that. But they may ask you other things if they think that how you're going to apply this with this. So as a PhD, as a researcher that spent 3 years, 4 years doing research, you must be able to tell them how you're going to expand your research work to that particular application, right? There is no wrong or right answers, but this is open-ended questions they may ask. They want to know how you think about that.
Okay. Got it. Okay, thank you so much, Professor. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your blessing. Yeah. Okay, have a nice day.
Okay.
Prof, I just want to ask a quick question. Earlier on, in one of your slides, you said that focus on the contribution. However, for PD, proposal defense, focus on LR, literature review.
Literature, you mean research gap?
Okay.
Research gap. You focus on research gap.
Yes.
That's what you want to propose.
Okay, so the research gap is actually based on the literature review. From the LR, we are able to determine what is lacking in existing literature.
If not, from where? Of course, from literature review.
Yeah, but how extensive do we have to read? For example, like how many articles do we have to read, or the moment we already identify there is a gap and that's it. How do I know that I have done?
Okay, that is why
literature review.
Saya tak nampak nama yang bertanya. Boleh saya tahu?
This is Lakshmi.
Oh, Lakshmi from?
UKM.
Okay, Lakshmi. Okay, this is why everyone, Lakshmi and friends, this 3 month, 4 month is very critical time for you to have a very good bond with your supervisor. He's the one who can tell you what is your finding from the research gap. So you need to be very, very good friends to your supervisor during this critical time. Okay, Lakshmi? So I cannot tell you, yes, you are efficient because we are not in the same field, for example. If you are in antenna field like mine, I can tell my student, okay, that is the gap. So proceed with that. But I cannot tell like that because, but as a supervisor, we can tell that.
Because the supervisor is the expert in that field, right?
Right. Of course, you are doing something which is guidance by him or her. Of course, he must be able to tell you this is the gap that we want. But sometimes he may not be able to catch the gap. But from your reading, you always discuss with him. He can catch something. Oh, why not this? See, this is how the knowledge expand. Right, Lakshmi?
Okay.
Does Professor answer your question?
Yeah, I have another question also regarding publication requirement. Do you suggest that we do the publication before the Viva or probably after the Viva once the thesis has already been submitted and all that?
Both can do. It's fine.
Okay, all right. So your suggestion.
However, you need to have a publication before graduation, right?
Yes. Yes, correct. So it depends again on university requirement.
Yeah, as long as you during the Viva session you have submitted and then under reviewed, maybe that will fine enough.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
Thank you. But my suggestion, if you can do earlier, before that you have something good news related to maybe acceptance whatsoever, that would be good.
All right. Okay.
If not, it's fine because the regulation is not before Viva. The regulation is before graduation.
Yes, correct. But you suggest that we get at least one accepted before the Viva.
If you can do that, Alhamdulillah, why not?
Yeah, all right. Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Prof, I have one question. Can I ask you a question, Prof?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you have any experience if, for example, like okay, I just take my case. I have to come up with an instrument, okay, to evaluate a leader before they become a leader using a new elements. Okay, like. You might have been going through Meyer-Briggs instruments, lots of leadership instruments whereby it goes from the Europe maybe. But Malaysia, we do not have any instruments in leadership. So I have to come up with the instrument. Through your experience as an examiner, if something new, okay, what are the possible questions that they might ask? Because of course the panel also doesn't know, the examiners also doesn't know what is your, because this is very new. Maybe they expert in certain in my field, but they do not, they never have these kinds of instrument before. So what are the possibilities of questions that they might ask you?
If I were the examiner, I will ask you, how do you think this can be suited for the leaders in Asian countries, for example?
Okay.
Because if you focus on Asian, so how can, when you get all this from Europe or US, how can this be suited to be applied here? So you should the background there, you should study the culture, the philosophy, the politics and everything.
Yes.
so that you can design the specific questions that related to the leader that you want to produce for this region, for example.
Yeah, that is one question. I mean, the other question that might trigger them to ask something because they never have these kinds of models of instruments of leadership evaluations, and the elements is very new. I mean, that a statehood is very new element. So I didn't know because I didn't know what kinds of question might or the possibilities of the question that they might ask.
I think you shouldn't worry too much about what is the questions. So what you can do is you try to make use of whatever it is to analyze more, give more analysis in terms of what, in terms of maybe in terms of gender with this what happened, in terms of
racist
attribute what happened, in terms of the geopolitics what happened if this kind of questions. So that kind of analysis will be useful rather than what they want us. Don't, because you cannot stop people from asking. In fact, sometimes they may ask something that you you cannot expect. So leave it like that. What you have to do is just try to find the right answers for the question that being asked. That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, everyone. We only have around 10 minutes before the session ends. If you have any more question, please put the question on the chat box. I will copy it and send to Prof, and Prof will answer it line by line. And also fill in the survey to receive the answers and recording within the 24 to 48 hours. And just now we have a problem with link from a link below, and we already solved the problems. So I would like to Prof. Madya Dr. Mat Ramlee to give his final speech. And I would like to thank you everyone for attending this webinar. So please, if you want to receive the answer and the question, please fill in the form.
Okay, so I can see there are a lot of questions, but we have a very limited time. So this is what I can say, that this is what we are. This is the same as we are doing our PhD. We have a lot of questions. We worry about a lot of questions. We may ask a lot of questions, but there are a limit, right? Everything still has a limit. So within this limit, what we can do? So within these 2 hours, I think we have done many fruitful things, right? So that's more important rather than we keep thinking about something that maybe may disturb your feelings, may disturb some things. So better we try to avoid all those things, because our focus is to finish, to reach the end line. So in order to reach that, we try to avoid many unnecessary things, unnecessary thinkings and so on. And then the most important thing as well, you have to be friend with your supervisor. So please get to know, I mean, always contact them, always get their advice so that you are in the right track. In fact, whatever you ask me, you can also ask your supervisor. They know better, because of what you ask is related to what your field. So they can give you the more insight answers compared to what I have given to you today. Because I try to give maybe in a surface one, in a surface view, or maybe a very general one, because of I'm not expert in everything, as I said to you. Okay, so I hope that this session will enlighten something and will give you something. And so, as I said, my session is not like other session maybe that you may have attended, because I only have a few slides. But the slide is not important. The most important thing is about what we can achieve. So, but I have two final slides that I haven't shown to you. So I need to show it now. Can you see my slide?
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof.
Okay, the key points. This is very important, because what we have done before is just 4 slides. I have another 2 slides. Key point here is you must be 100% ready and confident. Don't worry about all the questions. As long as you are ready, as long as you're confident, you can answer all the questions. Trust me. If you're still thinking about the question, means that you are not ready. You are not mentally ready and also physically ready. All right, and then keep calm. whatever question been raised, it's fine, keep calm. Then take time to respond. Don't respond straight away. Wait, relax, and respond, because you are the center of attraction. You are the center of point of. I mean, you are the one who are main people in this Viva session, and then you can ask for the clarification. Don't afraid to ask this. In fact, if you don't understand, you ask again and ask again. All right, you can ask them so that they can give rephrase their questions so that you can answer well. It doesn't mean that if you ask, it means that you do not know. Sometimes you would like to give them the correct answers, but if you may understood the question wrongly, maybe you end up giving a different response. And then admit if you do not know. This is okay. It's fine, because we are human. Because you are doing in a one particular things, not everything, all right? So that's why we have to admit if we do not know. If we think that this is not the scope of research, our research, or the scope of your investigation, so tell them, tell him, tell her, okay, fine, sir, this is not my I think this is important, this is interesting, but maybe I would like to get to know about this later on, after this session, something like that. Okay. But do not try to tell something which is not related. Later on, you may end up doing something which is not necessary. All right, last but not least, I wish good luck to all of you, and thank you for attending this session. Okay, I over back to you.
Thank you, Professor, for the fantastic explanation. On behalf of the EECLIPS organizer and also the presenter, I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day. And please fill in the form if you want the answer and also the recording. Thank you so much. See you again.
Okay, please don't forget to get all the questions, and I will respond your question as soon as possible.
Perhaps after this, we can organize some webinar on a good slide for Viva, maybe good presentation slide.
Good presentation.
Maybe a suggested slide lah for Viva. Somehow there are maybe 100 slide Viva. Yes, okay.
Okay. Are we done?
Yes.
Okay, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
So, Prof, tadi link Prof ada problem sikit yang pasal survey on speaker tu, ramai yang tak dapat nak masuk. So, kami dah buat link yang baru. Jadi kita orang akan collaborate lah dengan Prof. Kita orang punya link yang baru tu. Sebab Prof punya link tadi maybe dia restricted to UTHM punya je kot. Jadi ramai yang berluar UTHM tak dapat nak inilah.
So tak problem tu.
Dah kita dah solve, tapi nanti pihak organizer akan minta, kita orang akan collaborate lah dengan Prof punya email. So kita orang akan email ke Prof lah, so Prof boleh semak lah dia punya responses dia semua.
Okay.
Alright, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.